what are the things that you should think that we as B2B marketers can take from this? What are the actions we can do to set up the sales teams in the right situations?
Yeah. I mean, look, I could probably think of at least three things to start with. One is, again, not to be too repetitive, but just understanding the role of emotion and the role that fear of messing up plays in making decisions. That, look, the collateral that we go to develop and arm sales teams with is great if it's sort of helping them from a rational business case standpoint. But if we can pair that with elements that address that fear of messing up, help understand, paint that picture about, hey, this is going to go better than you think, or this is, we've done this before, demonstrating expertise about the process, things we can do as a way to build comfort that what comes next is going to be great, over and above the business case type documents that we're going to build. So that's one thing. The idea of making recommendations is something that I think the organization can help with. That there is a skill involved, and we talk to sellers about how they can construct the shopping carts, if you will, for buyers, and how they can then advocate for different elements. But if the organization is able to kind of give them a head start, if you will, by helping them identify what are some of those trade-offs that buyers might make, and what are some common sort of combinations that might make sense. Often when organizations think about this, they jump to the, sort of Netflix pricing of, good, better, best, or some sort of difference. And that can work. This is not recommendations aren't meant to be a pricing strategy or a negotiation strategy. But there are elements, so long as you're using that as a way to clarify trade-offs, I think that type of thing can work as well.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I think from a sales messaging and communication standpoint, that's probably a whole other separate conversation, about what's happening to pitch decks these days. And, do buyers want PowerPoint, presentations or not, the nature of the combative conversation happening between buyer and seller. But more generally, again, I would just think about, are there things we can do to enable the seller early on to discover in a way that helps me identify what path is that buyer already on, and how might I think about redirecting that from there? And to the extent to which the messaging is helping in some of that discovery process, I think all the better. And so those are kind of the three big things that come to mind.